Greetings, Twin Flames. This is Lucida of Twinflame RX, and I'm here to bring you a reading for the second half of May, starting from the full moon to the new moon. So the full moon occurred a few days ago. Today is the 20th that I'm recording this on, but the full moon energy is still in full effect, so you can utilize it between now and the new moon. And the new moon is on June 2nd or June 3rd, so this reading will go up to June 2nd. Now, if you happen to come across this reading and start watching it at any other time, that means that there's a message in this reading for you. So take the parts that resonate, whether you're watching it during the last 2 weeks of May or not. So thanks for joining me. If you're a new subscriber or a new viewer, please subscribe and hit that bell icon to receive all the notifications of when I post a new video. You can check me out on my website, twinflamerx.com, or look in the description box to find out where to set up an appointment with me or see me in a private session. I've also got social media that you can follow me on for daily card spreads and inspiration. So those of you that have been subscribing, thank you for sticking with me through this crazy twin flame journey. We all know that it has been quite a ride. And those of you that know me know that I've been on this channel, that I started it with my twin on November 11th of 2016. So it's been quite a ride with my twin as well. I want to thank you guys for joining me again. We're going to start off with me reading the Zen calendar entry. Then I have some tarot cards from the Aquarian Tarot by David Paladini. I put the card names in the description box. I've also got sacred geometry oracle cards for the divine masculine and feminine energies, and also for the union. I've got some more oracle cards here to read towards the end, and these are all from the Doreen Virtue deck. So we've got loving words from Jesus, we've got Mary Queen of Angels, and Archangel Michael to end the reading, and I also end the reading with some Reiki healing, so stick around for that. Let's get started with our Zen calendar entry. So I thought this was a good one. It says, knowledge is learning something every day. Wisdom is letting go of something every day. And this is a Zen proverb. So yeah, we learn something new in the 3D paradigm, especially when we're in the age of going to school, even if it's going to post-secondary school, like for college and university and even graduate school or professional schools. We're learning something new every day, whether we go to school or not. But in our culture, it is part of the programming to learn and gain knowledge every day. But it's not really part of the programming to access wisdom too much. We're not taught to let go of things. We're taught to hold on. And in the 3D paradigm, a lot of people hold grudges, and that just eats you away. That just allows you to create more negativity and build up negative feelings and emotions. So, part of what we want to be doing now, especially so we can get back into a reunion state or a union with our beloved, our twin, is to actually let go of that which no longer serves us in this this full moon energy is really good for taking away all that no longer serves us. Let's not forget that we have Saturn in retrograde, we have Pluto in retrograde, and we have Jupiter in retrograde. So Jupiter is a planet of bringing blessings, and that planet being in retrograde is actually not really stopping our blessings, but it's like there will be blessings. But it's more about reviewing what your blessings are, so it's time to be grateful. As far as Saturn retrograde goes, I believe it's affecting the divine masculine quite a bit because, and the feminine, but the masculine in particular, you may not know much about what's going on with them, but for the ones that I do readings about, because I deal with a lot of divine feminine twins and some masculine, but mainly the feminine twins don't know what's going on with their masculine, and masculines are being affected really strongly by the Saturn retrograde, which is helping them identify what these patterns are that they keep repeating. And, that could be like an addiction or the need to please. Those are karmic patterns that keep them stuck. and they need to break free from those patterns. So they kind of need to be alone to figure out that they have the patterns. And then the other thing is the Pluto retrograde is really helping to elucidate the fact that we are very mortal in this body, but immortal in terms of our spirit. So the masculine in particular are undergoing a transformation. So I know one client asked me a question today in a reading, and I wrote that if you try to help the masculine, it's like trying to help a butterfly to break out of the cocoon. Usually if a human helps the butterfly will die, because the whole point of having that silk threaded cocoon that hardens, that the butterfly needs to break out of, is so that the butterfly will be strong enough to break out. So the wings will be strong enough not only to break out of the cocoon, but also to be able to fly. So, that is the same thing with the masculine twin, is that we can't really help. The only things that we should be doing as the feminine, because I know most of my viewers are of the divine feminine species, let's just say, or polarity. That doesn't mean that they are female. They could be masculine, male as well. They just have a little bit more of the feminine energy to them. But the twins that are going through any kinds of soul searching, awakening, needing to be by themselves, they really need to be by themselves for that particular reason, that they need to feel that discomfort in order to become stronger spiritually. So if you're worried about your twin, don't worry. It's part of the process. They'll be okay. So I've been shuffling the cards here. I'm going to do a few more shuffles, and these are going to be for the divine feminine twin, which will start first. We're going to look at the recent, past, present, and future energy and how this full moon is affecting, and then also allowing the feminine twin to go forward. So these two cards came out, but I'll just put them in order. Okay, so we have 3 cards here. We have the Queen of Swords, Ace of Rods, and Knight of Rods. This is the recent past, where the divine feminine was more closed off and not really showing much emotion, but kind of standing her ground, and knowing her power is in her thoughts, or his thoughts, and in the words. So remember that when you think something, it can become a thing, it can become an emotion. So the reason why we want to watch our thoughts is so that they do not turn into negative emotions that we don't want to harbor. Presently, the divine feminine are becoming more fired up, becoming more motivated. I did notice that this card was upside down, and sometimes if the whole deck is upside down, I won't count reversals. So this time, I'm just going to say that some of us divine feminine may have been fired up recently, wanting to move forward on our mission, but some of us may have felt like our flame was extinguished and our desire and our passion was kind of either put to the test, or we need to rest and store up some energy to get back on track and be passionate again about our mission. And so here we have the Knight of Rods. So if we did feel like our passion was extinguished, maybe by some sort of spiritual attack or some sort of physical attack. I know I've been attacked. That's why I haven't been online. And I will be sharing some of that with you soon, but I don't want to dwell on it, because it also was causing me to not get this reading out, and I actually had to rest. So you may have had to rest as well recently or in the near future to get your fire back, to get your passion back for this journey and just for life in general, and to keep moving forward. But this full moon, if you do rest, it has, and if you put out the intention of that you wanted to release certain things from your life, energies, people, places, situations, even do physical cleaning, decluttering, spring cleaning, if you will, to remove articles and belongings and material objects from your space. If you're intending to release things from your space, then even if your flame was extinguished, when you rest, you'll feel rejuvenated and you'll be able to go back toward, working on yourself, walking your path, moving toward union with your beloved, moving toward your mission, or stepping more into your mission. Now, what the Divine Feminine is going to be working on the next 2 weeks is compassion. If you add the numbers up, we have the number 6, which is all about love. We're moving into June. So the new moon is going to be on June 3rd. So as we move into the new moon, we're getting into this compassionate energy, and the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our hearts and into the world. So I generally don't talk about the karmic partners that much in these general readings that I do online for twins in general. But if a twin comes to me in a private session, we will talk about the karmic partner, possibly of themselves or their beloved. And I find that there's a lot of bitterness and frustration for that karmic partner. And understandably so, for some of them, they can be really, not a good person, but some of them are clueless and don't even understand or know that they, are with someone who is a twin. And then I sometimes think myself that maybe I was a karmic partner for other soulmates that I've had, because I've had a lot of really intense soulmate connections and relationships for like 6 months or a year or 2. I had one for 7 years. So what I'm trying to say here is that extending compassion for everyone, even the karmic partner and the whole karmic situation, is what actually is called for right now. So understanding that some of them have no idea, these karmic partners, of what's going on. Some do, and some do like things to derail the union. There's also other forces out there that you wouldn't even believe that are involved in destroying unions. And it could be other readers, it could be someone you think of as a healer. If they're not a twin flame, they can't even really get on the same vibrational level as the twins that are of service. So I've only ever trusted twins that are in union with their counterpart to do any energy work for me, because I made the mistake in the past of even talking to individuals who were not twin flames, not knowing, because I just needed someone to talk to. So that's, one of the reasons why I wanted to create the Patreon group, and I do still want to have that happen. I just don't know if June 1st is going to be the actual day it starts, just because there's been so many distractions the last 2 weeks, and possibly because I want to start that group. All right, so I am going to now shuffle for the Divine Masculine energy, past, present, and future. Okay, so the recent past, now that we're in the full moon period, that's the present. And then the future is, what are they going to be? What are the Divine Masculine going to be like as they move into the new moon in June? One more shuffle. We're asking Divine Source to provide us with some insights on Divine Masculine, past, present, and future energies. Interesting. So the feminine also had the Knight of Rods in this position, which is interesting. The Nine of Rods is a defensive stance. So in the recent past, the Divine Masculine were in sort of a defensive stance, and some of them were like that, maybe hiding out, ghosting, not talking to their twin, not talking to you if you are the Divine Feminine, wondering about this masculine twin. They were just kind of sticking to themselves. And in all ways, I would say that a lot of the divine masculine are keeping to themselves right now because of these important retrogrades, the Saturn and Pluto retrogrades in particular, along with this full moon. So there were some twins that I knew that were in contact with their beloved intermittently, and now all of a sudden the divine masculines have dropped out of communication, or they're very quiet, and that's because they're in the defensive mode. But now during the full moon, they're working on themselves, so they're trying to get back into the swing of things here with the Seven of Pentacles on their divine path, but kind of keeping their head down at work, you know, around their family, around friends, kind of looking around to see who they can trust, because they want to build up something stable for themselves and their twin before they just come back into their divine feminine's life. And here they are in the near future, after letting go of some of the fears. Negative energies would be fear, confusion, doubt, pain, sorrow. You know, maybe they couldn't forgive their divine feminine, or maybe they felt that their divine feminine wouldn't be able to forgive them. So those kinds of negative energies have been released, or are being released still during this full moon period. And then as we move up to the new moon, the divine masculine is turning into someone that's more fired up. And you can't really tell the excitement in this photo here, but basically we've got the rods, and they are the passion, they are the torch. Okay, so we had this for the feminine as well in the near future, which is really interesting that they both, divine feminine and masculine, will be in the Knight of Wands energy, which means that they want to keep moving forward passionately toward each other on the journey. Now, the masculine is also going to be working on this number 3, solar plexus chakra. The 3 could also mean that third energy that the divine feminine, masculine come together. And I know that there's a third energy that helps me every day, even when my twin and I are not in communication. That third energy is what we created. There's a whole bank of ideas. My twin and I came up with oracle cards, and we came up with, I mean, we actually have titles for all the cards, and all I have to do is go fill in and channel those messages. And we need some artwork, and we've got these cards, but we did this 3 years ago, and the ideas that, you know, came about from all of our just powwows that we used to have are still flowing within me and still come up and get further developed. And I believe that that is how it's going to be. Even when my twin and I work together, we'll be creating this third energy all the time to it's kind of like a cloud, you know, where things are stored for both of us to access when necessary. Okay, so here's the solar plexus chakra that the divine masculine will be working on. It says the frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. So it's like a little bit more advanced. The divine masculine's getting that courage. They're working up that courage to be that Knight of Wands and to move forward fearlessly. Oops, not that one. They're getting out of that energy, but they're becoming the Knight of Wands with that fire and passion in their belly, moving toward their feminine twin, wanting to create more of the physical third energy, which would be, you know, a new life possibly, or birthing a whole new situation, birthing a mission that both twins participate in together, but birthing something, a project. This is all really good energy so far. We're going to look also at the union. I'm going to look at how that's coming together with the tarot cards, past, present, and future. So here we go, past, present, and future for both twins, and how they will be coming together in their divine union, how that looks. Okay, one more shuffle and we will cut and draw 3 cards. All right, past, present, future. Yep, that's kind of like how I felt the last 2 weeks, that I was backstabbed. That, you know, I just felt like somebody wanted to kill me, and it was like more of a spiritual death that was coming at me, because this is when I want to speak out, when I start getting these arrows thrown at me. So if you're feeling this way, or if you're feeling that you have no more to give, maybe your twin makes you feel this way, that you are betrayed, backstabbed, like, or you're just done. Like the Ten of Swords, you can't get any more swords. So once you're at this stage, all you could do is be reborn. And so that's actually what the masculine twin is doing. They're being reborn now. And a lot of them are going to be coming up into their mission and their magician energy. It's funny because my twin tells me that in his real life, people call him the magician, but in Spanish. So we are the magician, us divine feminine light workers. We are here, with all the elements. We have that infinity symbol. This is showing that we know that we are part of the whole, and we have the ability to manifest or to co-create anything we want with the universe. So both ourselves and our beloved felt done, and now we're reinventing ourselves. We're experiencing a rebirth here, where we're coming into our magician energy, knowing that we're going to rise up from those ashes like the phoenix, and we're going to be able to do what we came here to do as twins. And both twins are in this energy. Both twins are moving. Remember, it was the night. Now it's gone because I shuffled, but we had 2 knights of rods, both moving toward each other. And in the future, that's going to create the 6 of rods energy, which is the victory. So we're going to be victorious on our mission, or the part of our mission that results in union. So I'm not going to say that you're going to be in union tomorrow, but the month of June is a 6th month, and that is all about love. So the number 6 actually is all about love, and that's what we're moving towards. So gotta try to get excited about that we're moving into the month of love very soon with that new moon. And for both twins, the energy, wow, so the energy is fertility. Wow, I was talking about that third energy that both twins want to come together and create, and the 2 and 7 is a 9, so if they do create that third energy, which could be to raise the vibration of Gaia, of Earth, of the planet, that could be what is fertile, the plan of let's get together, let's raise the vibration of the planet, or it could be let's create a new beautiful life. So the frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful, to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. So now is not the time to not speak. If you're a divine feminine, you're being called to speak compassionately and to show love and compassion to yourself and others. The divine masculine is being called to know who they are as divine beings, and both divine feminine and the masculine are called to come together to create that third energy, which is going to be the birthing of the unconditional love that can be spread to all. There's more power when 2 twins come together. They can create new life, even if you think you're too old, or you think you're infertile medically. There's been people that have had spirit babies, and these are miracles. So I didn't believe it either when I was told this by another twin set, but yes, there could be miracle babies. So that's the only way I'm going to be able to have one. So I'm hoping for a miracle. If that's what God wills and wants for me, I am totally surrendered to God's will. I actually had several near-death experiences, so I'm not afraid of what's to come. It's actually much better than anything that I've experienced on this planet. Earth is a very hard place to come back to several times. that I could remember. But I'm here for a reason. So, if technology is going to fail me, if people fail me, I just have to keep going because this is my mission. All right, so I'm on my mission. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to read the Loving Words from Jesus card just for some inspiration. I've been tuning in to Jesus's unconditional love energy, that Christ consciousness energy, for quite some time, and it's very important for us on the journey to get into that level of consciousness and stay in that vibration. The longer we stay in that vibration, the more we'll be able to actually anchor in those 5D energies and anchor them in with our twin as well. Okay, so Jesus's message here is, your faith hath saved you. Go in peace. And we have some numbers here. Luke 7:50. So that's the chapter and verse of the Gospel of Luke in the Bible, where Jesus actually spoke the words, your faith has saved you. Go in peace. And Jesus really loved to heal and to be around small children, and because children, before a certain age and before they get tainted with our grown-up society programs, they love everyone. And there's no prejudice. And I know for me, when I was a child, I was always looking at people that were different than me, and did grow up in an area where languages were spoken that I did not learn. And I was one of the people that was kind of like an outsider. So I really know how that feels. And the thing is, like, we feel like we're outsiders in general if we're on this journey, but the faith and the trust that we have in our Creator and in the bond that we have with our beloved, our twin, our soul connection is what saves us. And all that we need to do is understand that and be in peace. The more we're in unconditional love and peace, which is a higher frequency, the more we're going to be able to be in our union with ourself, with the divine, and then with our twin. So we have two more messages. I chose to draw a card from two different decks, one for the feminine archetype and one for the masculine. So Mary, Mother of Christ, her message is hope. And the message here from her is, I trust that God has a wonderful solution and brilliant plans in store for me. For she had no idea how she was going to be able to handle the situation that came across her path. So, how would you feel being the mother of someone that's a revolutionary, basically, who's stirring up all this trouble, but knowing that this is divine will? And knowing that the divine will is that her son doesn't live because of the truth that he brings to the world. So, that's really a testament of her faith, and that's why she's an ascended master as well. And our last card is Archangel Michael wanting us to explore our options. And the prayer is, Dear God, thank you for your wisdom and love, helping us see, understand, and assess all of our alternative options. Please guide us in the best direction for our health, our happiness, and our life's purpose. So some of you may be having some choices to make, whether it's between your twin and a karmic situation or partner. My advice to you is always to go with what your intuition is telling you, your gut feeling. And if you're not sure about that, go tap into your heart space and ask, because if you go with your mind, often it's the result of the 3D programming that you have been exposed to all your life that you need to be shedding now in order to get to a very pure state where you understand that we as humans do not exist to have power over us. And Jesus Christ came with the consciousness. He wanted to open our consciousness to understand that we are part of the divine. Not only should we embody unconditional love for all because we are part of the divine and we're part of the all, And because what happens to each of us affects the others, because we're all connected, he just also wants us to know that there's more to it, that those that try to control us, that's power over us. And he came to let us know that we have power within, we have that light within. And if we all shone our light, if we all tapped into that, that would be enough to overthrow all of those that are trying to get us down. Now, there may be some necessary steps, in the 3D, besides just shining our light, but our light is the truth. If we all spoke the truth, if we all were not afraid to stand up for what we believe is right, instead of just letting these laws and rules be made behind our backs pretty much because we're not paying attention. It is our job to pay attention. We can change the world. And if you are with me, still, I'm sending you some Reiki healing energy for this upcoming few weeks before the new moon. And I'm sending this energy to both you and your beloveds so that the two of you may step into your missions as the light workers you are, so that you can be in alignment with your true soul purpose. When you are in your alignment with your true soul purpose, and when you start living from your soul rather than from your mind, your ego, you will start noticing that everything that God has promised, or everything that has been promised to you by the divine, which is your birthright, will start flowing to you naturally. So get up in that higher vibration. This Reiki healing energy is trying to lift you up now and help to release anything that is blocking you from understanding your role is to shine your light and speak your truth and not be afraid. And when you're not afraid and when you trust and you believe, you'll know that anything is possible. And that's what I'm leaving you with tonight. So I wish you, wherever you are in the world, a blessing of a day, an evening, and I hope to see you in the next video. Namaste.